of the birth of the Adxc back here is incredible. And the card says it all. An amazing card, amazing fights that I've always wanted to watch, especially on those formats. So it's going to be an amazing and exciting night.
Now, Kendall, ADXC has been around the world in just 1 year. You were lucky enough to go to Paris. You know, you've been here to Abu Dhabi as well. You must be so excited for tonight's show.
Absolutely. I mean, like you said, I got to join the team 3 shows ago. This is my 3rd one, back in Abu Dhabi for the 2nd time. Couldn't be more excited for the matches tonight. I mean, the card is just stacked with champions from around the world. It's going to be amazing.
It really is stacked. I mean, we have UFC fighters, we have MMA world champions, we have jiu-jitsu world champions, and much more. Now, let's start off by talking about, of course, our main event. A grappling match between 2 standout MMA fighters, starting with Mohamed Mokaev, the undefeated MMA phenomenon, born in Dagestan, based in the UK. Now, Mokaev had a couple of challenges because, unfortunately, there were a number of opponent switches, last-minute changes, withdrawals, but he was unfazed, and he said, no, it doesn't matter. I'll fight anybody you put in front of me. Well, we put the call out, and our matchmakers were able to fight Rogério Bontarin of Brazil, an MMA fighter and submission specialist, who, after taking this late call, is obviously very confident in his skills. 65% of his mixed martial arts wins have come via submission, and he does pose a real threat to the wrestling heavy style of Mokaev. But, of course, a very special talent indeed, and we'll look to see how that match goes. That's our principal fight tonight, but of course we have 4 other main event matches, both jiu-jitsu and grappling, and Jansen Gomez versus Wanderson Ferreira will be our co-main event in a jiu-jitsu match in the gi. Braulio, why don't you tell us something a little about this ongoing rivalry between these 2 Brazilian athletes?
Well, Jansen and Wanderson, they have faced each other many times, and but never on the ADXC. They're probably one of the most exciting fighters to date right now, active in the world in jiu-jitsu. And Jansen coming from an amazing victory in the Adxc 3 in Brazil. Definitely with that momentum, it's going to be a very hard fight for Wanderson, who is playing pretty much at home here. He's been living here since when he was a blue belt, and he has the crowd on his favor, and he's also an amazing and exciting fighter that goes for submission. So it's
Now, Kendall, why don't you tell us something about this? Because it's a very interesting clash of styles, right?
This is a very interesting match, and honestly, since this match got put together, we've been hearing some whispers from both of the camps giving us some insight into these 2 guys. Patchy is very interesting because what I hear behind the scenes is that in the gym, he goes toe-to-toe with some of the best jiu-jitsu names, the biggest names in the world, and he's known mostly as an MMA fighter, right? He's a Bellator champion. He's absolutely amazing, but we hear he's submitting these guys left and right, so we don't want to underestimate his jiu-jitsu. But then you have Akhmatov. I mean, he's a 1 world champion. He's coming in with such an extensive background and big rings, big cages like this, and I don't know. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what these guys pull out. I think you can definitely expect a lot of fireworks and excitement. Both of them yesterday were telling us that they have a very high expectation for a submission.
Well, I'm certainly excited for it, and I'm sure the fans will be as well. Moving on down through the card, we have another jiu-jitsu match between the Brazilian Isaac Baiense and Bruno Lima, 2 Abu Dhabi World Pro Champions. They've both won World Championship titles right here in this very arena, and they are both ADXC veterans. Braulio, what do you think about this match?
This is a very interesting match, because since the very first time that Bruno Lima stepped on the cage, he seems like to figure out a very good game system to beat anyone. But I think it got a little bit down the path when he lost to Jansen in Brazil. That showed that maybe it's not exactly that when you cannot be so predictable. Isaac Baiense always comes for the kill. Bruno will do the exchange in the standard. They're using a lot more the cage with the experience, and they really like to fight each other. They are in the same weight division. Man, those 2 matches I cannot wait to watch.
Moving down, our final main event match is really, again, another intriguing no-gi grappling match between two standout MMA fighters. Now you have the Brazilian Josiah Formiga going up against, from Dagestan, Tagir Ulanbekov. Very interesting to note that Ulanbekov is the first Sambo representative to compete here in the Adxc cage, Kendall. That's right.
Yeah, this is such a great match. Okay, so here there's some differences and some similarities, right? Both of these guys are UFC fighters, so they're both coming in with a strong MMA background. But then you have Tagir with the Sambo, like we mentioned, and then you have Formiga with strong experience in both gi and no gi in the IBJJF circuit. So it's really unpredictable to imagine what's going to happen. We know that a lot of times these Sambo guys, and you know, of course, he trains with Khabib and some of these other great, well-known grapplers. So anything could really happen when you put two guys like this in a cage with the specific rule set that we have, because these are short rounds, they've got to go for the kill. It's going to be thrilling.
Now, that of course is our main event. We have 5 main event matches. We also have 5 main card matches and 5 prelim matches. Now, just we have a great mix of talent featuring athletes from all over the world, as I said earlier, in a mix of both gi and no gi, jiu-jitsu and grappling matches. But how about I ask you both to maybe pick a match from the main card? Braulio, is there something that stands out for you?
For sure, the ladies definitely going to be representing, very well. Emily Ferreira versus Ludmila Fiore. They've been studying each other since the press conference, and during the weigh-in, they can't wait to step on the cage. And then, girls, when they really want to fight, they go for a scrap.
Spicy.
Kendall, a standout match for you from the main card?
Oh gosh, so Murat Kurbanov and Lucas Lira. This is a very exciting matchup because both of these guys have very strong jiu-jitsu all around, but they are leg lock specialists. And we see both of them finish leg locks very often in their matches. I mean, Kurbanov is a Polaris black belt, right? So we have got some spice coming into this match too.
Oh, that sounds like a leg lock shootout waiting to happen. And on the early prelims, we have a number of sort of up-and-comers, a couple of Adxc veterans, some guys coming back to the cage. Not the first time we've seen them. Maybe you want to highlight some talents to look out for, Braulio?
Yes, I think the first one that comes to my mind straight away, since the very first time that he fought in France, in Paris, it was Benoit. A brown belt, which is very explosive, that he gets amazing takedowns, which is going to be featuring many highlights of the Adxc. That's going to be fighting Rimashevsky, that is also going for the kill. Man, I was so impressed during the workout that Benoit was doing 10 muscle ups and bunching up 100 kilograms.
And he's a lightweight.
He's a lightweight, yeah. And then every Russians, they are so strong, so it's going to be very interesting to see this match. For sure, there will be many shots for highlights for Adxc in the future.
And he was fight of the night in Paris, right?
I believe so,
Gosh,
got a bonus
exciting.
for that.
Yeah, keep an eye out for that match.
So basically, prelims, co-main cards, main cards, it's going to be fireworks. So it's a great celebration for the first year here.
Kendall, a prelim match maybe that stands out for you, one you're excited for?
You know what? I hate to say it, but Braulio actually stole my match. He stole my match. I mean, look, you could pick any match on that card, but I gotta say, Benoit, I have high expectations. Watch out for his judo. If you guys are tuning in for that match, watch out for those throws. He was hitting uchimaras. He was hitting flying around the cage. You can't blink when when the guy's in there. So I'm excited.
Yeah, potential fight of the night. Let's hope it lives up to expectations. Well, of course, we have, as I said, 15 matches in total. We really shouldn't waste any more time because you guys want to see the action. We want to see the action. The fans here in the Mubadala Arena in Abu Dhabi want to see the action. Let's get things underway. We'll be back very soon with our first fight of the night. Thank you.
تخدم صفاش نعي كلاش كي تخرج ما ترجع بالهوب والكراش I'm a champion I'm a winner تحقوق I'm a winner كيما هانيبال I'm a winner بالكعود ديما رابح I'm a winner نغسل الموت ونتبسم كالصيد نتبسم كالصيد اصلي متفرع من ناس صناديد من ناس صناديد ناكل ضربه نعطي زوز حمزه حمري نيفر روز حالي بيبي فضل زوز بيبي داخل ليش خروج فايتي ما نخافش من الانمي شغلي ما تطيحش الايكونومي ما نخاف لا من صعب ولا جيربي ويلكم في الحمري اكاديمي نترينا ونكسي في راسي البوديوم عارف باش نوصل للي حاشي بيه خاص بونيتي كيما نورا اليوم والليل فيزيك انا المولى دوي جيني فيكوار لازم فيكوار ما عنديش حل كان الفيكوار في واحد يقوم تاع الشاكوار ما يرضيني شيء كان الفيكوار جيني فيكوار لازم فيكوار ما عنديش حل كان الفيكوار
Hear that rumble. Hear that rumble, yeah, yeah.
Run for them life. When I step into the jungle, say they wanna group up. They better move up, never gonna win a Royal Rumble. But when I come through, you know what I love to. I send shots for your team and leader. I make a witness decide to vacate the war's gate sweet just like a Ribena. Yo, listen, you hear that? Killers in the jungle. Killers in the jungle. Killers in the jungle. Yo, listen, you hear that? Killers in the jungle. Killers in the jungle. Killers in the jungle.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we welcome viewers from around the world, live on TX7 and locally on Abu Dhabi Sports TV. This is Adxc6, the heartbeat of grappling, from right here in Abu Dhabi. Of course, tonight wouldn't be possible without our great sponsors, Experience Abu Dhabi, Abu Dhabi Showdown Week, Emirates Nuclear Energy Cooperation, PYYPL, UAE Jiu-Jitsu, ADMA and Vision Travel. And of course our technical partner, AJP, and our event promoter, Catchers. Ladies and gentlemen, it's now time to meet the fighters. Adxc presents 3 rounds in a lightweight grappling contest. Introducing first in the blue corner, weighing in at 68.7 kilograms. Fighting out of Tunisia, Hamza Hamri. And his opponent in the red corner, weighing in at 69.5 kilograms. Fighting out of Cameroon, Jarez Diha. Your referee, Mark Goddard.
All right, so we are underway here with our first match at Adxc6. This is a grappling lightweight match, a no-gi bout between Juarez Dia of Cameroon and Hamza Hamri of Tunisia. Referee Mark Goddard, get things underway. As you can see, Juarez Dia in the white rash guard and Hamza Hamri in the blue. This scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds. Of course, we'll be seeing takedowns, we'll be seeing cage work, we'll be seeing ground control and grappling, and we will hopefully see some submissions as well. No strikes here, Braulio. This is Adxc. This is pure grappling.
Yes, it's very good to see the fighters using more the cage. You can see that Hamza was trying to intimidate a little bit Jauris with the level changes, and but as soon as Jauris put Hamza against the cage, that was the beginning of the approach to bring the fight to the floor. Big control here, a lot of pressure here on the half guard. From the top, you can see the right elbow that Hamza, he's just free now. Now he has a better chance now, but it was a really good opportunity here for Jauris. Good pressure. Try to fight for that knee to come off from the half guard. You can see that, like he's digging in to slide through. Here we go, D on the floor. To the mount, perfect execution here.
And this is early in the first round to have achieved such a dominant position as well, and up against the cage. Do you think that'll make it difficult for Hamri to escape here, Kendall?
I don't know if the cage plays as much of a role in the grappling typically as it does with the takedowns, right? We saw a very early takedown that I honestly, I don't think that Hamri had an opportunity to defend the double because his back was up against the cage. He wasn't really able to sprawl. But on the ground here, we did see the referee intervene a little bit with those toes in the cage and kind of move the legs away. But here, yeah, you can see, just like you were saying, Braulio, Dia kind of reached up to see if he was going to look for a Kimura
Some
as the
showboating here from the Cameroonian.
Yeah, both of them actually started clapping. There was some claps behind the back there from Hamri.
It's a tap. It's a tap. It's a tap. And guys,
wow, what a celebration
amazing.
Here from the crazy Cameroonian.
Wow, some break dancing. Whoa, some gymnastics.
And I would say that
he
expended more energy in that celebration than he actually did in the entire match. It was so one-sided.
Yeah, Hamza made a big mistake there by keeping the hands around the waist when you are in the mount. So, folks, it's a no-no. If you've been under pressure on the mount, never hug your opponent because for sure your arms will be very exposed, as you saw.
Nice little celebration here in the center of the cage for the very happy Juarez Dia. And just amazing emotional scenes here in the very first match of Adxc 6, which ends via submission in the very first round. Oh, you just see how happy he is, really. Look at that. And it does help as well, of course, that Dia is based here in the UAE. And as you can see, a lot of local support for Juarez Dia.
Yeah, what a great opening to the night. Super dominant from start to finish.
Time to make things official. Mark Goddard, our referee. Yeah, I think Hamza, you can see just the look of disappointment on his face then. Dia, obviously very happy with his submission win, but I think Hamza knows that he made a big mistake, and that's what happens at Adxc. This is a grappling match. If you leave your arms out of position, it can end that quick. Well, let's hear it for the official result.
Ladies and gentlemen, before I announce the official decision, I'd like to welcome in His Highness Ali bin Abdullah Al Muwalla and His Excellency Abdul Manan Al Hashimi into the cage to present the winner's trophy. Ladies and gentlemen, referee Mark Goddard called stop the action at 2 minutes and 1 second of round number 1. For your winner by armbar, Juarez Dia.
Juarez Dia being congratulated by our local dignitaries, His Highness, and our chairman here. Well, don't go anywhere because we have more great action coming up, but let's take a quick look at this replay. Kendall, how about you talk us through this?
Yeah, I mean, that was such an incredible opening, right for the double leg, right into the cage, beautifully executed. And then he immediately got that underhook, went to the mound, started clapping and egging on the crowd, and Hamza joined in somehow from behind the back. But that may have cost him the match because it opened up his arm for this armbar here, which is where we saw the finish. Wow, super tight on the elbow, using the thigh to finish. Just a beautiful execution. 2 minutes only to finish that fight.
And it is a nice armbar, not that common, to be honest, in jiu-jitsu or MMA, but I think possibly aided by the cage as well. There's definitely a little bit of a factor.
It was a very
This celebration, to be honest, was maybe one of the highlights and possibly one of the best celebrations we've seen here at Adxc.
It's good to see the young crowd here showing up and celebrating. Well, like Hamza had such opportunity when Jaguares was clapping to position the hands in the right, more in a better position to defense, but unfortunately he put back straight away, clapping from the back.
It's just like you said. You said, like, that's a no-no. Don't reach behind the back when you're bottom out.
First of the cage here, Carol Brunasio in the blue gi, out of Brazil. Our first competitor here in this jiu-jitsu bantamweight match. Our first jiu-jitsu gi match of the evening here. Next up to the cage, and looking very animated in her Adxc debut, is Daiane Bazzoni, also of Brazil. This jiu-jitsu black belt is ranked number 4 in the AJP Tour rankings, and despite her young age has already achieved many impressive jiu-jitsu accomplishments. But looking for something new here tonight in Abu Dhabi, an opportunity to score her first ever Adxc win. Let's hand it over to our MC Ricky Wright for the introductions.
Live from Abu Dhabi, Adxc presents 3 rounds in a bantamweight jiu-jitsu contest. Introducing first in the blue corner, weighing in at 59.1 kilograms, fighting out of Brazil, Carol Brunasio. And her opponent in the red corner, weighing in at 58.5 kilograms, fighting out of Brazil, Daiane Bazzoni. Your referee in charge, Vito Shaolin.
All right, so it is now time to start off our first jiu-jitsu match here at Adxc 6, a bantamweight bout between Daiane Bazzoni in the white and Carol Brunasio in the blue. Both jiu-jitsu black belts hailing from the country of Brazil and fighting for us here tonight in Abu Dhabi.
Fun fact that you told me about, Howell, is that Brunacio actually has a pretty interesting pedigree. She went from blue to black in the last, year and a half? Is that correct?
Absolutely
After taking
incredible,
silver at
yeah.
Worlds and brown?
She started off the year of 2023 as a blue belt, and midway through 2024 got promoted to black belt. One of the quickest rise through the ranks that we've seen, but very much deserved and earned through her competition exploits. And now right here playing this spider guard. It's a position you're very familiar with, Braulio.
Yeah, and then she's really aggressive. You can tell that she's pushing, she's initiating the movements. You can see here that Diana is trying to pass the guard to the left, so have a good grip here on the trousers, the bottom of the pants. But very flexible, very strong legs. Carol Brunacio here protecting really well, framing it. But Diana is putting relentless pressure, and this can count a lot through the rounds.
Changing direction with the passes is Bazzoni on top, as we said. She's a jiu-jitsu black belt, ranked number 4 in the AJP Tour rankings.
Yeah, one of the things that Carl does so well is she's constantly controlling the posture of Bazzoni. So whether that's framing and keeping her away, or she's pulling really hard on the collar, that's one of the things that makes a great spider guard player, right? You have to constantly be controlling the posture. But I think that Bazzoni is adjusting nicely. She's kind of doing this like sitting style of passing where she sits back and moves around, and that can be one of the ways to combat the posture issue.
Yeah, Bazzoni having trouble. There's a nice sweep attempt here from the lasso from Brunacio. And I think that Bazzoni is doing her best to try and pass this guard, but it's proven to be very tricky because everywhere she goes, Braulio, there's an obstacle in the way.
Yeah, I mean, Carol, she has a very strong legs, has the grips on the right spot here. But Bazzoni is doing well in terms of not fighting off to don't be flipped. She's kind of following the movement, to kind of end up in a much better, much more comfortable position, and then she's applying pressure. And even though Carol has a very strong legs, but this will count a lot through the rounds. Here's go. This is a sweep here to the foot lock, which it matters. And here the Adxc submission attempts a lot more valued in the eyes of the referees than the submission. This is on.
Belly down, very tight. Belly down, straight footlock here from Brunacio with 10 seconds remaining. There is the clacker. Let's see.
Escaped.
But she does manage to get her leg free, and it looks like this will be our first match of the evening to go through into the second round.
Man, I'm telling you, you can never tell with the ladies, those footlocks, their feet, they will just bend forever. It looked so tight to us from the outside, but you could see there was no panic on her face even. I mean, she looked completely fine.
You have to think, though, that, of course, Adxc, there are no points during these matches. It's not like a traditional jiu-jitsu tournament where you score points for takedowns, sweeps, and so on. But the submission attacks, if there isn't anything significant like a guard pass or a back take in this match, and she wasn't able to score a sweep from the bottom, but one thing she did do, Braulio, was she caught the foot later on. Do you think the judges will reward her for that submission attack?
Yes, for sure. I think that was this round will definitely go to Carol, for sure, because she was the one that got close to do anything, including the sweep. That was a very good approach, even though she didn't go on top, but put a very tight submission on the foot. As Kendall said, girls are they bend differently, and it's very hard to submit on the foot, but it looks really well there.
Here are our two corners. You can see the red and the blue corner. Diana Bazzoni, the first to her feet. They get 1 minute rest in between rounds. This match is scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds. And our referee, Vitor Shaolin, will restart the action as soon as that cage door closes.
Such an interesting thing bringing jiu-jitsu athletes into this format where they get to rest in between the rounds. It's not something that most of them are used to doing, especially when they're competing in other organizations with long rounds that don't have any breaks. So it's always interesting to me to see the approach in between, like, do they sit down, do they stand up, do the legs go up? It's very different than our MMA fighters.
And something else is different is the fact that they're competing in a cage, Kendall. Now this is, of course, for the MMA guys, nothing new. But for a lot of the jiu-jitsu guys, it's still something that they're figuring out.
Very good grip here by Carol.
Yeah, there's a beautiful transition underneath the ankle. She's trying to pass the sleeve over to her right hand. If she can grab it, it's a really beautiful sweep on that side. And she looks very dangerous from the close guard.
Good posture here by Ho. Just about said.
Caught
She's
the
very
leg,
flexible.
unable to actually finish the sweep, but there's always a grip. There's always the threat of unbalancing, but I like the way, very traditional overwrap.
He's
We
on.
could see an armbar
He's gonna
here.
be on there. This is a
Bit
very
of a modified
tight
mirror
position.
lock there. Ooh.
It's pretty much on the look the arm.
Pazzoni's in trouble there for a
Wow.
second, but gets her elbow free. But
Wow.
that was a real submission threat.
It was. She's very aggressive. She initiates everything, and it shows that she really deserves to be a black belt.
That was a pretty nice old school kind of passover of the sleeve as
It's
well,
such a
right?
beautiful position because you can attack the mirror lock with the foot over the neck, excuse me. But if they extend their arm, they put themselves into a classic armbar. So it's a very hard position to escape because there's really nowhere to go that's safe.
Well, back to this. Very flexible, very active open guard for Carol Brunasio. And so far, this has really been the story of the match, right? It's been Bazzoni has been on top. First of all,
Again, another one.
this is the close
That's
armbar.
the tightest
Belly
one
down.
we've seen so far.
Belly down. That's
Look
on
for a moment.
fully extended.
Her hips are up and she has that arm completely
It's
locked out. How
proper.
is Bazzoni not tapping here?
She's having just a bit of an angle change with her thumb. You can see it, but it might not be enough.
No
Look, though, she
way.
brings her right knee inside to come up.
No
that was
way.
incredible.
Brunasio, she
That's
threw that
impressive.
armbar up so quickly. I was about to say that really her guard has been the story of this match so far. She's so active with it. And as I said that, the armbar came out of nowhere, but I'm really amazed
Wow.
that Bazzoni was able to survive because that armbar looked locked on.
You know what's interesting, too, is Bazzoni actually came out trying to double pull. I think that she did not want to be on top in this second round. She was trying to pull, she was trying to sit, and she just wasn't quite fast enough, and Brunasio was able to pull and then land in the close guard. So I would say Bazzoni's really fatiguing now at this point. Let's see if she opts to try to be on bottom here. Yep.
Now, with 20 seconds remaining in this match, you
Nice
see,
shift here.
trying to jump over the top is Brunasio, and she's closer to passing than Bazzoni has been at all in this match.
What an unorthodox passing style we just got to see, and an omoplata potentially coming on here.
Well, now she can ride out the rest of this round holding on to this half guard.
Wow, the flexibility that Bazzoni has, that is like impressive.
Or maybe just grit, right? Maybe
my
just some
God.
grit, for real.
Remember the armbar that Roger Gracie did on Jacare, and how the arm was after that. If she's moving the arm like normal, like nothing happened, she's really flexible.
Braulio, what do you think's going on in their minds now as we move into the third round, knowing that, you know, probably 2 of those rounds went the same way?
For sure, I think Bazzoni gonna think that I need to be on the bottom regardless, because, you know, Carol is being very aggressive, very productive and assertive with her attacks and grips, and Bazzoni is not having any answers against the guard.
It
So you have to have a
feels
shift.
like Diane's only chance here at winning this match now in this third round is to get on bottom as quickly as possible and go on the attack, because
Look
as
at
you
this
can
armbar.
see, every time she's been on
Beautiful.
top in this match, she's had to defend a significant submission
I'm
threat.
very surprised that she actually escaped from that.
Yeah, the armbar got her elbow free, somehow came back on top. But
That's
I
a
love the
beautiful shift.
attempt at the guard pass here. Very unusual, almost lost position.
And also a very good counter to the back attack here by Diane, and she doesn't end up on top in a very good control, to be honest. I think she needs to cut that distance as soon as possible. I think the guard pull for Diane would be the best option for the victory.
All right, so referee Vitor Shaolin restarts the action now. This is our third and final round. Slowly stalking forward is Bazzoni. I think it's going to be a race to hit the first guard pull here. And yeah, you can see they both go double pull. But Brunasio, she doesn't seem too concerned about working on top, because she seems to be so happy with playing that aggressive attacking submission game from bottom, right?
Well, it's been so successful so far, right? And I think we just saw an example. Sometimes the collar comes over the head. Like we were saying earlier, that her posture control is just relentless. So when she's pulling on the collar, it's very fatiguing for the top player when they're trying to pass, when their head is constantly being pulled down. It's not always something that we can really tell from the outside, but when you're in that position, man, it is so frustrating and fatiguing to try to keep your head above water so that you're not getting applauded, you're not getting triangled. And honestly, I think Zoni is looking really fatigued so far in this fight. She's looking like she's not really going to be calling the shots as far as the passing goes here.
Yeah, Carol grabs really well the sleeves, which doesn't allow Diana to kind of progress. She's always stuck and she's wrapping around. And to be honest, after these 2 rounds gone, only the submission will be interesting for Diana. So she needs to free head grips to be able, in order to be able to do anything in terms of submission. Carol's so offensive. She is winning the battles of controlling grip first. There's a big step here, try to go for the mount, walking through. Well defended here by Carol.
Yeah, we see Carol bring her right leg over into like a single leg X style guard, and she has that spider grip on the left-hand side as well. The right knee position is interesting because what Carol will probably be looking to do is underhook the left leg, or at least extend Bazzoni onto her right leg so that left leg gets a lot lighter and she can really start working with her guard there. As long as that left knee is on the ground heavy like that, it's going to be hard to get any attacks to go further.
Now this open guard position, Braulio, it's such a great position. It's something that you did so much in your career. You know, why don't you talk to us about why you think that Brunasio is so effective from this position here?
Yeah, because she blocks the progression of the opponent, right? When you can never do the second step. She's approached, she gets it, but whatever Carol is doing is blocking what Diane has to do next from the start. So she always gets very close to it, but not close enough to get to a good position. Now it's 28 seconds to go, and Bernardo going again for a foot lock here.
It doesn't look like the best position to maybe attack it from, but Bazzoni, she does try and clear around the side, but it's another opportunity here just for Brunasio to let the judges know that, hey, I'm the one attacking here. I'm the one who deserves this decision. And as we count down the clock here in the dying seconds, we've been wrong in the past. I don't like making predictions, but I think we can probably all agree that now this goes to a decision. It's pretty clear who probably earned this one.
That's for sure. Carol did an amazing fight. She started early in every round, making the grips, stopped the progressions of Diane. Diane couldn't find any answer to get out of the wraps. The submissions was relentless from the beginning to the end. An amazing match here. Amazing fight for Carol. She should be proud.
And Kendall, you know, I look at the two athletes after this match. Brunasio, of course, was just so aggressive throughout. Looking at Diane, you sense some frustration there after this result?
I think so. You know, I think she came out with she had such high energy, and it was electric in here, honestly. She looked very, very confident, but it's just the fact of the matter is, you know, Braulio was saying she was behind on all of those starts, and she just really couldn't get her game going, and she got quite fatigued early, I believe, as well, and that's hard to come back from.
We will, of course, have to collect the scores together here at ringside. We have 3 judges positioned at cage side who will be recording the result of each round. That score gets added together, and then this is how we find out our winner. Well, it's time to throw it over to our MC for the official result.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of action, we go to the judges' scorecards, who scored about 30-26, 30-27, and 30-26. All 3 in favor of your winner by unanimous decision. In the blue corner, Carol Brunasio. And I would like to call His Highness, His Excellency Saleh Al Jaziri, and His Excellency Mohammed Al Hamidi to present the winners' trophies.
Well, no great surprise that the final scores were, of course, very clear. Every judge had Brunasio leading the match, or winning every single round, and in some cases, Kendall even winning rounds 10-8, not just 10-9. I mean, that goes to show it's probably the round with the armbar attack that would have been scored a 10-8, you think?
Absolutely. It was so completely dominant. I mean, I think everybody in the arena was shocked that the armbar wasn't finished. I mean, there's that, it says a lot, right? So definitely a dominant round for her.
Let's take a look at this replay, some of the best moments.
Bit of a jumping guard pass attempt, and look at the right leg come in so quickly across in that single leg X position to avoid the hips coming forward.
And you can see the effort on Brunasio's face. So persistent in the pursuit of victory. And our fans, I think, treated to a great show here in our first jiu-jitsu match of Adxc 6. So of course, more to come. But we are now 2 matches down. We have many more. We have 3 more prelim matches coming up of both grappling and jiu-jitsu matches. Don't go anywhere. Making his Adxc debut here in Abu Dhabi, going to the cage, Valor Ulysses Boyer from the USA. He'll be fighting out in the blue corner, flying to us all the way from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, USA.
Interestingly enough, one of only 4 American athletes on the card today. This card is extremely internationally heavy, and there's only 4 Americans, and this is our first one coming out here in Boyer.
It is a rather diverse collection of characters here
Absolutely.
at Adxc 6, isn't it?
Honestly, it always is. Adxc does a great job of bringing in people from all over the world and matching up matches that we would never see in any other federation. It's super impressive. Very creative matchmaking style. And speaking of diverse, Yoshinaga is our only Japanese athlete on the card. Not the first time Adxc has brought in Japanese athletes, but the only one on this card, and really exciting to see these 2 guys match up.
Adxc really is a platform that showcases the global growth of grappling. And as you mentioned, Kendall, we have many different nationalities represented here at Adxc 6. In total, 10 different nationalities, speaking 8 different languages. It's like the United Nations of grappling here at Adxc. And it's always been that way at every event. But Riki Yoshinaga of Japan coming into the Adxc cage for the first time in this bantamweight no-gi grappling match.
Live from Abu Dhabi, Adxc presents 3 rounds in a bantamweight grappling contest. Introducing first in the blue corner, weighing in at 61.3 kilograms, fighting out of the USA, Valor Ulysses Boyer. And his opponent in the red corner, weighing in at 56 kilograms, fighting out of Japan, Riki Yoshinaga. Your referee, Mark Goddard.
Time to get things underway here at Adxc 6 in this grappling bantamweight match. We have Japan versus the USA. Now, even though this is a bantamweight match held at 61.7 kilograms, that is around about 136 pounds. Interesting to note that Riki Yoshinaga walked in today at only 56 kilograms as compared to Boya, who was almost right on the limit.
Wow.
And that means that he's about 10 pounds lighter than Boya.
Wow, look at this aggressive guard from Boyer. He sits to pull right away, and he's immediately following him around on the mat, scooting forward, aggressive, into the legs, inverting. I mean, just relentless.
Yeah, it's a good move here by Riki too. You know, he's really dealing well with the entanglement, with the berimbolo's approach, going to the footlock here right now.
Dropping back for the leg, looking interesting the way he mixes up those guard passes with sitting back for the leg
So
locks.
he goes going there to the footlock over the shin, which is
committed,
pretty
yeah.
tight. But the length the Valor has here is a very big approach here.
We're
Very good
seeing
grip.
the classic leg lock counter by going to the top from this smash pass position, and he's going ahead in arm choke. We could see the katakatami.
Yes,
Man.
it's a very big opportunity here. That's when you're fighting someone taller than you. It's very dangerous to go to a certain way, this footlock with the shin control. You open this opportunity of the reach of the arms to wrap you around, and you get in a very bad situation with a dead-end road.
Because you look at Boya, and he's quite a lanky player in comparison to Riki Yoshinaga. You're a lanky guard player yourself, or a lanky jiu-jitsu player yourself, Braulio. And sometimes that advantage comes, I mean, it's such an easy path to this kind of submission attack. But look at the defense from Yoshinaga. Do you think he's okay here?
I don't think he's okay. With that left knee on the floor, it puts Yoshinaga in a very difficult situation. He's trying to buy time by putting the fist on the floor to don't get the katakatame. But if Valor brings that shoulder to the chest, that will be a end for sure.
I gotta say here, one of the saving graces for the bottom player can be if he would be able to use his right arm to underhook the foot and start to, like, almost like a muscle sweep, bring the ankle up and kind of torque that knee out. We see that often to return into more of a fair guard play here, or an even 50-50 rather than an uneven 50-50, but it's very hard to do.
One thing that Valor is wasting the opportunity, his hips is too high. He should sprawl that left leg to be with the chest as close as possible to Riki Yoshinaga's body, so his shoulder will be closer to the ground and applying a lot more pressure on the neck. And then the shoulder is also on the top of the head, so it's kind of, he has a very good position, very great advantage, but he's not be able to put the choke in place.
Well, we are going into the final seconds of this first round, and Yoshinaga, the Japanese competitor, has managed to survive. But this is one of the interesting facts about these 3-minute rounds. They go by really quick, Kendall. And that's actually sometimes, if you can hold on in a certain position, even if it's a bad position, you get another chance come the second round, right?
Yeah, and we oftentimes see the athletes come out and have a different game plan in the second round, right? So not only do you get a little bit of breathing room, but you also might try something new. We're seeing some of the replay here. Again, that very aggressive guard with Boyer coming out right away, super strong. And honestly, Yoshinaga committed to that ankle lock so early over the shin, like you mentioned, Braulio, but it got him really stuck in trouble here. The interesting question is, are the referees going to look at this as more of a passing attempt or a submission attempt as far as the score goes?
The size difference definitely working in Boya's favor in that first round. But after 3 minutes of action, Yoshinaga has a chance to, as you said, Kendall, change up the game plan a little bit coming into this second round. Maybe try something different, because he's got an idea of what to expect now as well, right?
Yeah, I would say that, you know, sometimes I would say it's unlikely that he leans back again. But you know what? When people are committed to that falling back for the legs, I'm always shocked because they just do it over and over again. And sometimes they do end up on a better entry the second time around. So it's hard to say.
Boyer again, gets down to guard quickly. And we see that side-to-side footwork from Yoshinaga in trying to pass.
It's really interesting the way that Yoshinaga, you mentioned at Howell, does the side-to-side passing, but then also sits into, you know, a guard pull to sit back or into a leg attack. So you don't oftentimes see the combination of the outside passing and the sitting back.
Boya playing a very interesting game here. There is the sitting back for the leg lock, just like you mentioned, Kendall. And Boya looking for those kind of classic no-gi entries, the De La Hiva, the, oh, nice roll over the top there from Yoshinaga. But again, the length of Boya.
It's a good control here on the head that just escaped. Now Valor got stuck there for a little bit. Now he's going for the heel hook, well defended here by Yoshinaga.
One thing that's interesting about both of these guys is they have both attacked heel hooks in the last 30 seconds without much control on the upper part of the leg. So they kind of reach back for the heel, but without an isolation, you know, above the knee, it's going to be hard to not only finish, but also to get any, you know, points from the referee as far as a submission attempt goes if you don't have control above the knee.
Yeah, they are stepping ahead on the counter straight away. Don't let the opponent to progress. It's a very good opportunity here for Valor, controlling the neck, putting the pressure. Yoshinaga going to try to go to the back here.
Wow, and he brings the hip over the top.
There we go to the back, spinning the hips. Well defended here by Valor.
Did a great job bringing his right foot in and kind of swimming that in to create space.
Very talented, very slippery, kind of slimy game between them. But this shows a lot of knowledge.
One thing you notice about Boyer is that he's just very, very positionally aware. So any time that Yoshinaga gets close to being on offense, Boyer seems to slip in the other direction or attack something of his own.
Ooh, that's a nice looking an Aoki lock right there. Very powerful foot lock.
With a tap.
There is the finish.
It's a tap. Incredible submission here.
You saw the extension that Boyer had on the hips with his foot, and he was able to create so much of a stretch there that it was so hard for Yoshinaga to come forward and take the pressure off.
And also the angle that he positioned his legs was stopping Yoshinaga to turn to the right side of the skate because it was kind of a heel hook kind of grip.
Yeah, the Aoki, it looks like a straight ankle lock, but if that heel pops out to the inside, the heel slips, it's a very powerful rotational leg lock that attacks both the ankle and the knee.
And he hurts him.
He did. And I think Boyer actually, you could see he looked up after the guy tapped and it was almost a moment of like, oh, I think he even knew the damage that had been done with that. So let's hope that Yoshinaga is okay. But of course, congratulations to Vala Boyer.
I like to see on the replay so you guys could see the heel popping up to the chest, escaping. It was kind of an inverted heel hook kind of stuff. Very, very technical, and I love the way that he positioned the legs in an angle that Yoshinaga couldn't follow the escape.
It was scary on the tap too because I think he was trying to tap as he was falling, so he was posting on the mat with his hands and bringing his hands up to tap at the same time, so that may have attributed to a little bit of the extension on the time frame there.
Yeah, Yoshinaga has actually left the cage, not just in disappointment, but potentially a sign that there was an injury there. Let's make it official.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Mark Goddard called stop the action at 2 minutes and 16 seconds of round 2. For your winner by Aoki lock, Valor Ulysses Boyer.
So Vala Boyer gets the win.
His Excellency Abdul Menom Al Hashimi and Mr. Dennis Romashov, Chairman of People, our official sponsor, to present the winner's trophy.
Vala Boyer picks up the win and is rightfully very happy with that submission here at Adxc 6, his Adxc debut. And if you're going to make a debut, doing it with a submission must feel really good.
Y'all really think I could be hot in the club. I think I'm washed up like a god in the tub.
The winner's trophy from our sponsors, people. Thank you so much for your support here at Adxc.
Mr. Abdul Manam and Dennis
ain't nothing like hip-hop music.
Showing
Let's take a look at
presence.
this action.
Here we go. Look at this. The
Hopefully
relaxed
we'll
movement.
see this. This is a little earlier with the rolling
It was
chin
a
strap
pretty good
guard
approach
pass.
for the pass. He held in the neck, and then he also was trying here to take the back control. See that? Very well approached, but very well defended by Valor.
Hopefully we see this
There we go.
submission
Look,
here.
the heel, and he's turning to the wrong side. You see the right foot on the hip, and he's popping up the heel to the inside towards the chest. It was incredible, so tight it definitely popped Yoshinaga's knee on that one.
Huge rotational force going through the leg from that position. And as you said, you know, the way that he was kind of falling forward, his hands on the mat, a little difficult for him to tap effectively to communicate that he had just nothing left in that position and had to give up. Hopefully no damage done, but congratulations to Valor Boy.
It was way more technical than it looks. How he positioned and manipulated Yoshinaga's body so he couldn't even start escaping. Very good.
Yeah, we are seeing the Aoki lock is it's one of those trending positions in no-gi jiu-jitsu, I feel, in the last year or so. We're seeing so much more of it. People realize the effectiveness of it as a submission attack. Well, congratulations, and we'll be right back with more action.
Weatherman said something about
And now for my next number, I'd like to return to the classics.
Well, there are high hopes for this match in particular. And very high expectations from this young man right here. Younes Benoali, out of France. The brown belt who impressed us so much in his Adxc debut in Paris earlier this year with a very dynamic jiu-jitsu game.
Well, I gotta say, the high expectations were put on himself by himself because of the show that he gave us in Paris, that's for sure.
And also returning to Adxc. I mean, after an equally impressive performance competing at Adxc 2, the Russian competitor. We have Yaroslav Rimashevsky, a winner by, a winner in a gi match at Adxc 2. Actually the youngest competitor on this entire show. A brown belt also. And I love the way that Adxc gives an opportunity, not just to the black belts, not just to the world champions, but to these up-and-comers as well. Well, let's make it take this away with our official introduction.
Live from Abu Dhabi, Adxc presents 3 rounds in a lightweight jiu-jitsu contest. Introducing first in the blue corner, weighing in at 70.4 kilograms, fighting out of France, Younes Benoali. And his opponent in the red corner, weighing in at 69.7 kilograms, fighting out of Russia, Yaroslav Rimashevsky. Your referee in charge, Vito Shaolin.
All right, so Braulio and I both called this as our favorite prelim fight of the night. Be on the lookout.
Now, that's not a very good tactic for sure. It would be very risky. And then also, Rimashevsky is very, very talented guard player, very flexible, very agile. And you can see he is already in a very good position here under Benoali's, with the hips exactly underneath, which keeps Benoali's off balance all the time. You can see here to get this sweep almost with the possibility of a footlock attempt.
Yeah, Benoali is doing a great job of pulling the elbow up. He pulls the right elbow up so that there can't be a tight bite on the ankle. So as long as he keeps control of that arm, then his ankle's safe. The problem is it also prevents him from coming up because he can't use that left hand to like grab the collar or help himself up or underhook the leg or anything of that sort.
Yeah, I mean, you can see that Rimashevsky is doing really he did his homework. He's trapping both legs of Ben Wali's, which is a good way to stop Ben Wali's use what he has the best, which is his explosiveness. If you want to fight someone that is strong, the best thing you need to do.
That foot with the left hand. But it stops Rimashevski's left foot from being on the hip to be able to get his guard going. But the flexibility of him, I mean, really, it's his knee
It's crazy.
that's freaking us out.
See the lapel grip as well at
Yeah,
play
that's-
here now. There's a bit of worm action going on, it seems.
Yeah.
And
His one
that
leg
is
is
a
gone.
very frustrating position to get caught in, because Ben Wali, he has to deal not just with the grips, not just with the legs, but he has to try and get that lapel out as well, right?
But at the same time, he's doing exactly what he should. He's squeezing, he's pressing
The right foot.
the right foot to the body, which now is free. If you free the arm, the left foot, that is going to be a very good opportunity for sweep. Here we go.
Question is, of course, Rimashevski can control Ben Wali with this grip, but what else can he do? Can he sweep? Can he
Yes,
submit?
like that, exactly like that. Sweep, controlling very good. This is actually one of my favorite sweeps on the end of my career. It's very strong. It's very hard to get out of it when the lapel is wrapped.
Briefly comes up on top, but Ben Wali
Still with
will
the lapel.
end this match on his feet here, unable to extract himself from this position, and they will go back to their corners.
So good to see someone applying my game plan. I used to love this.
Yeah, beautiful to see too. You're right, Braulio. The way that Rimashevski was constantly trying to use that left foot, and then Ben Wali was doing a great job controlling, either pushing it down or taking it off the hip. But as soon as his left foot got in play, it's like no wonder Ben Wali is doing that, because as soon as his left foot got in play, that's the first time we saw the sweep and we saw the action from Rimashevski to come up on top.
Rimashevski is doing a good game plan here against Ben Wali. It's the right game plan. So don't let Ben Wali free. This is the sweep. This is the counter putting the foot down. But you can see as soon as the foot is out, the lapel wraps in a way that Ben Wali couldn't step to the mountain. They end up in the sweep just right now.
The thing is, it's okay to control an opponent. It's okay to hold an opponent like Ben Wali, who we know is fast, we know is explosive. But Rimashevski needs to attack if he wants to really win a decision here at Adxc.
So speaking of attack, what's your guys' vote? You think Rimashevski comes out and plays on the feet, or you think he pulls again?
He'll pull 100% before he gets
yeah, I
touched.
agree he'll pull, but the question is,
Will he be attacking submissions, right?
what kind of attack are we going to see from bottom? Because simply holding an opponent's not really the best way to win, right?
But the thing is, Ben Wali couldn't start anything. And it's a game plan to fill and stop the explosiveness that he does. See that? Now let's see. He's very flexible. You can see that's like his legs just like a bends like a suspicion of a absorber, shock absorber.
I think Ben Wali's made a smart adjustment, because it looks like he's now really looking for outside passing, right? He's looking for that Toriano style, and then goes to that over-under as the transition. Almost shot his legs both underneath there for a moment, but I think it's going to be smart to avoid that standing position where Rimashevski can start getting his intricate guards going, whether single leg X, spider guard. So definitely a different approach here.
Yeah, the approach is definitely different, and he's trying to do different things to see what he gets, but also I don't think this was the right game to be able to pass someone like that has a flexible guard like
Especially with 3 minutes, right? 3 minute round to pass someone with such an intricate guard is a very short period of time. Oftentimes it takes a long time to wear them down and find the angles, and it takes repeating the same pattern over and over, but just getting a little bit faster.
Oh,
3
there's the
minutes
lapel
doesn't
as
allow
well.
for that.
Rimashevski has managed to get the lapel
There's a
free.
footlock there.
Look at that
But it wasn't
weird
really
toe
on.
hold.
That was really on.
Yeah, Rimashevski has
Still a lot of
managed to grab
possibility
the
there.
lapel out again now. It's on the other side and around the outside of the leg here. And it looks like they're dropping back.
Look
This is
how
an
tight it
opportunity
is.
for Rimashevski to come on top. But he's so good at controlling from the guard. Do you think we'll see him just stay there?
No, he's trying to wrap himself to stop the explosiveness from Ben Wali, and at the same time try to get maybe a foot lock or a sweep, and frustrating Yunus here with this wrapping around. If you want to stop someone from being explosive, if you wrap yourself around him, you'll be very frustrated.
It's worth mentioning too, I think even if he did want to come up on top, both of his feet are in the inside position. They're kind of stuck and trapped. So he would need to be able to maybe bring his left knee out to the mat to be able to come up in kind of that safe stand-up position. But right now, you know, his legs are occupied.
Yeah, both are stuck in similar situations here. Either of them has to put one foot out to be able to end up in a technical stand-up, so end up on top.
Yeah, okay, this is smart, I think. Our referee, Vito Shaolin, if he doesn't feel like the action is progressing and is falling into a stalemate, he will restart the action standing up, which gives it an opportunity for things to change. And there is a little...
Look at the back now.
Yeah, attempt at the jumping guard pass has led into this near leg drag position here.
You could see his left foot behind the shin. That was a really excellent position to avoid the leg entanglement, but he's lost it now. And Rimashevsky's able to work his legs back inside.
The flexibility Rimashevsky has is incredible. You know, it allows him to get in such a good position from the entanglement like that. You know, it's gonna be a tough one for Ben Wally to decipher. You know, I think the game is going towards Rimashevsky so far.
You think we'll see Ben Wally come out and pull and maybe double pull there? I mean, he's so well versed on top and bottom and explosive from both positions. It could be a nice option for him to try to solve the puzzle a different way.
Yeah, he has to do something different before Rimashevsky has the grips. As you can see, as soon as he gets a grip, he starts wrapping around with the legs and arms just like an octopus. Look at this, he just finds a gap so anywhere.
It is that unusual toe hold. Now, in a match where things are very even, do you think that the judges might see that and they might think, you know what, that's the decider, that's the tiebreaker?
So hard. It could be a slight advantage. The thing about toe holds from that position is that oftentimes they're used just to change up the position of the guard, like to get your opponent to react and move the legs out of the way. So I don't know if it'll be seen as a real threat, right?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Well, they left the stool inside the cage.
Oh, gosh.
Just make sure we get that out before we restart the action. The red corner laughing and apologizing for that. We'll restart now, and this is it. This is the final round here in this.
Make a grip for the city now.
Yeah, that's going to be a warning against Rimashevsky. Ben Wally himself was like, come on. But it does go to show that Rimashevsky is sticking with the game plan, and he doesn't want to change things up too much. He really wants to play from the guard.
Here. We'll see if he tries to swing his hips over the top.
Ben Wally really stuck now in this position.
Yeah, that's you know, Rimashevsky did very much a very good homework.
If we flick the action back here now, if we look at the other side of these two guys, if we look at the legs, you can see that it's actually a very difficult position. There it is. That's the control here from Rimashevsky. It's really slowing Ben Wally down, right?
No, for sure. He's very talented, very skillful on the guard. The way that he places his legs, he makes a grip and just molds with wrapping with legs and arms. He's very technical, very talented kid. They don't try to approach here for possible footlock, but is already well defended here by Rimashevsky.
But do you see the ankle lock grip from Rimashevsky? But have you felt that there's been any real attempt to finish this ankle lock yet, or it's just to hold his opponent?
I don't think he's been able to get any attacks off yet because Ben Wally does a great job of continuing to bring his hips forward and his weight on top. So I don't think Rimashevsky's been able to get the extension that he's looking for. However, it'll be interesting to see if the match continues this way for the next 90 seconds or so until time runs out.
Crab ride.
But as I say that, there was a little bit of a change, but now we see a little bit of the explosiveness of Ben Wally right in that defense.
Beautiful spin from Ben Wally in answering that crab ride at entry from Rimashevsky, and on top here, again, pressuring that flexible guard.
But again, you know, we saw Ben Wally using his skills and his mobility to defend an attack. You know, I haven't seen yet Ben Wally being any productive in terms of offense so far.
Yeah, it's really hard to call, right? Because we haven't seen submission attempts, but if you are looking at who is causing most of the continuation of the offense, I think Rimashevsky takes that part of the match.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, a big thing is, of course, if there are no significant submission attacks, if there are no sweeps or reversals or any control positions gained, and it's a very even bout such as this, then you really have to look at who's initiating the action, right?
Yeah. Look, the game is so difficult for
Potential.
Benwali that he tried to pull guard for the first time that I've ever seen.
For a second, Rimashevsky was looking at a toe hold, but lost the position, and it may cost
good
him his
position
back.
here.
Benwali almost looking at the back, but Rimashevsky manages to kind of recover into this position right here.
Knee bar.
Final
There
few
is.
seconds.
They're going to end out in this 50-50 kind of position here in the end of the match. And I feel if I'm Benwali, I'm really not secure at all at the end of that match. If I'm Rimashevsky, I probably feel like, hey, I was the one in control here. I'm the one who earns the decision. But, and this is a big but, we've seen the judges analyze matches such as this in the past, and they've often chosen somebody you may not expect based on their particular criteria. So it'll take a minute for them to collect the scorecards, count up the scores, and give us a decision.
Listen,
Let's see.
There we go.
Yeah.
Benwali definitely he didn't have the answer for the game that Rimashevsky had in plan. Showed a very talented guard, very offensive, initiating, don't let the progress, and mate, to be able to deal with someone like Benwali.
Well, let's be honest, Claudio. It was a very frustrating guard, a very difficult puzzle to solve, right?
Yeah, and then he tried different things, but he just keep coming back to the same game plan, and on the same time, Rimashevsky was getting to the lead of the grips, entangling and frustrating Benwali. The judges now, for sure, they analyze and take a little time, but seems like we are getting to the results now.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of action, we go to the judges' scorecards, who scored about 29-28 Rimashevsky, 29-28 Benwali, and 30-27 for your winner by split decision. In the blue corner, Younes Benwali!
Wow, that was a surprising. But hey,
I would like to invite His Excellency
maybe because he was in
Abdul
top
Manor
position, to be honest, I'm not
and His
really
Excellency Saleh Al-Jaziri into
aware.
the cage to present the winner's trophy.
But he's a happy guy.
Benwali, I think, trying to get the trophy for the best post-match celebration, maybe even beating out our very first match result. I mean, it was a difficult match. I'm not going to say it was a controversial decision, but definitely there were some people who were surprised the split decision ended up going to Benwali. But in a match as close as that, neither side can really afford to be too disappointed, because the decision really can go either way.
And a couple of those things that we saw, you know, they may have played in. There was that toe hold, even though it wasn't super tight, there was a toe hold attempt. And there were a few jumping guard passes, you know, some big explosive movement there. And, you know, like we said, Rimashevsky did get stuck in the same kind of pattern throughout the match. So, yeah, very hard one to call.
I personally feel like Rimashevsky was initiating and yet wasn't so effective with his guard play. That was the problem. He wasn't effectively attacking with sweeps or submissions. He never really had, apart from this brief moment with the crab ride, never really had Benwali in trouble. And then sometimes you look at matches like this, and when it's so close, the guy with a little bit more pressure from top often gets a decision. That near back take,
Well,
that's how close a match it was.
It was close, but as a guard player myself, I know how much
Look, as
they
a
came into to play. For me, in my eye, Rimashevsky won every single round in my eye, because I know what it takes to be able to get to the positions. He worked really hard, and he controlled the whole match. But some referees saw different, but it is what it is. It should be a submission to be able to stop that problem.
You know what's so funny about that, Braulio, is I feel like multiple times as a top player, I've been stuck in matches where I feel like people are holding me in positions and stalling throughout the match. I'm not saying that that's what Rimashevsky was doing. And then the call went the other way, and then I was super frustrated because I'm like, man, there wasn't even... So I do think that when you get into the mind of the fighter, there's a lot going on both sides, right?
Maybe I'm being biased here because I'm a God player, right?
Well, we have one more prelim match coming up right now for you here at Adxc 6. And coming to the cage first, hailing from Russia, is the light heavyweight Murat Kurbanov.
Now this is an exciting match. Kurbanov is a Polaris black belt and a leg lock specialist, but so is his opponent. So this could potentially be a leg lock shootout here in the cage.
Heavyweight, no-gi grappling match. Our next competitor to come to the cage from Brazil, the black belt, Lucas Lira. Originally from Brazil, now based in Miami, Florida, representing the Adxc team. You can even see Adxc co-founder Andre Galvão in his corner. Lucas Lira makes his debut here at Adxc in a something of a last-minute match as well. This match was organized on quite late notice. Both competitors receiving the call-up and taking this match with little time to prepare. However, both guys very eager for this opportunity to compete here at Adxc.
Live from Abu Dhabi, Adxc presents 3 rounds in a light heavyweight grappling contest. Introducing first in the blue corner, weighing in at 92.9 kilograms, fighting out of Russia, Murat Kurbanov. And his opponent in the red corner, weighing in at 92.7 kilograms, fighting out of Brazil, Lucas Lira. Your referee in charge, Mark Goddard.
All right, so it is now time for this light heavyweight no-gi grappling match. As you can see, physically very closely matched in terms of size, stature, and weight. Only 200 grams separating them. In the white is Lucas Lira of Brazil. In the blue, Kurbanov of Russia.
Now, fun fact for you, Howell, did you know that Lucas Lira actually lived in Abu Dhabi for a period of time? So he is not his first time here, even though it was a last-minute answer to the call.
No, he kind of considers Abu Dhabi something of a second home, or maybe a third home, originally from Brazil, based now in Miami, Florida. But yeah, a long history here in Abu Dhabi, lots of experience of having competed here in this very arena, actually, in previous jiu-jitsu tournaments, such as World Pro. But Kurbanov, coming to us, now something of a leg lock specialist, because Braulio, he got his black belt from a very certain, very notorious leg lock expert, Husma Toquinho Palhares.
Wow, he's a legend, Toquinho. You know, he's a very scary fighter to fight against, and he definitely is going to be bringing some heel hooks attacks, some leg locks attacks, and then Lucas is doing well, protecting himself here by pushing the umpers. Now he just take it off. That grip is the fight. The fight is, if you allow him to get too close, that's when he can spin and go to the heel hook, so any knee bars.
Oh, look at the
Nice.
beautiful knee cut
Very
pass
nice.
there from Lira. So quick with his explosive forward motion. Now, Kendall, we're talking about Kurbanov, leg lock specialist. However, Lucas Lira is something of a leg lock aficionado himself, shall we say.
Absolutely. Lira, one of the things you can tell when he's in this, I would say, leg lock defensive position, because that's what Kurbanov's looking for. He pulled early. You can tell that Lira is so savvy with the positions. He doesn't allow either one of his arms to be controlled for too long of a period of time. He's working for an outside pass before he brings the pressure in. And you can tell he's very savvy with the legs because he doesn't overcommit to diving into the guard in those offset positions until he has a better angle. So he's playing a very, very smart game here.
Yeah, Lucas Lira on the outside. But if you know the leg lock game yourself so well, then he probably knows how to keep himself safe in these positions, right? And that's going to be key going up against somebody, Kurbanov, who's obviously made it known that's what he's looking for here.
Well, and not only the legs, but Kurbanov does a great job of moving between the legs and butterfly attacks and attacks on the arm, like we're
Wrist lock.
just seeing right there. So what he will do often is he will play for attacks on either the top or the bottom arm, truthfully, and then when the opponent defends and pulls back, then he will enter into the legs, right? So it's a very classic sequence of events, but Lira has to be careful to not really overcommit with, reaching for the head, looking for those underhooks. It's a difficult game.
Braulio, you can see the grapevine on the lower leg there as well. That's going to slow Lira down.
Yes, and you can see the angles in the position that Marat has been approaching. You can tell it's very dangerous. It's
Now
the danger ways of approaching things.
This is a very dangerous spot. Lira has the far side underhook. Oh, and the
Not
knee.
enough time.
Almost through, but not quite enough as the time runs out. But what that tells us is that he is able to solve the puzzle, right?
Yes.
He's able to find that opening in a short period of time. And here we see him with Maggie Grandati and Andre Gobal in his corner. Pretty rock star studded corner, if I don't say so myself.
Yeah, I'm looking at Lucas Lira and his guard passing approach. And considering that Murat has had 3 minutes now to work leg locks, Lira, a couple of guard pass attacks there. I have to say that Lira probably squeezed that round through his activity and through his pressure from top. And there's a look at some of that pressure.
Even with the wrist lock?
Yeah. But
even with the wrist lock, I do feel that Lira got the edge in that one,
Yeah.
but the judges could see it differently.
Exactly. I think, Marat, he's playing a little bit of letting Lira approach.
Like a bait,
Yeah.
baiting him,
he's
right?
being like more reactive instead of proactive. He's putting himself in the angles that is very difficult to get into a dominant position, but Lira got in the very end. Once that's the way out. If you hug him, that position, and you have like a minute or so, there will be a very big advantage for Lucas.
Round two. In white, Lucas Lira with the big attempted foot sweep. In blue is Kurbanov. Now, a little bit different in this round. Kurbanov not looking for the early guard pull. May actually see a little bit of wrestling here. Or do you think this is just oh, look, Lira is Lira was almost offering his
Baiting
leg there
the
for the
single,
takedown,
yeah.
but Murat decided, no, I'm going to go back to my guard.
When the looks too good to be
Whoa!
true, he's always right.
Chaining the
Backflip pass.
backflip pass with the
Good
knee
pass
cut
here.
and almost
shot to
getting
the knee
top, but
bar.
there we see the leg
Wow.
lock now. Looking for the inside heel hook. Possibly Lira's speed here in the defense and the attack from Kurbanov from bottom. There's a lot going on now.
There's some speed out there.
That was beautiful timing from both of those guys, because the backflip into the knee cut followed up with the leg entanglement from Kurbanov was really executed so well, but Lira showed his savviness in the leg entanglements to be able to exit, turn the right way, spin around, and then come right back into closing the distance.
He went to the pass, and it shows how strong Marat is. He just bench press Lucas, because Lucas is
Yeah.
not weak. Look at the size of it.
And I liked also the way that he combined that with the inversion underneath. He spun around and he was catching the leg. It was obvious kind of what he was looking for, but now things have slowed down in this position. But even though Kurbanov has
Lucas
this
has a good break.
grapevine, you can
He has
see
a good
the
position, Lucas, yeah.
Lira has a really strong upper body control. Do you think he can score the guard pass?
Look, he has a very good approach here by squeezing the edges of the hands towards Marat. See, as soon as he let it go, that's when he had it. Such a good control. He could have passed there, but he opened up a little bit, and
Oh, now he's
Marat
blocking the
just
hip. Lira blocking the
set the
hip,
position here
and
for
he's
Luka.
got past the legs now.
Managed the pass.
Locking in the side control position. The question is, can he hold Kurbanov down and go for an attack of his own?
It is tough with these short rounds, right? Because it takes a certain period of time to get past the guard. Now Lira's passed, but 40 seconds to submit or move to
Knee
the
on
mount.
stomach.
Oh, that's a
Maybe
nice
to the mount.
advancement.
Sometimes it's not the best way to go to the mount from there when the person is expecting, because as soon as you mount, you're going to be thrown or regain guard.
It was smart, though. He was looking for that near side underhook. Do you see that, Braulio, with the left hand?
Yeah,
Oftentimes,
low mount,
when you
good
have
job.
someone explosive like this, if you can mount with an underhook or 2 underhooks already, then you're going to have a much better chance. And he is looking maybe for a smother choke here
We're
from
seeing
the top.
smother from the mount there, and they're seeing the hands on the face. Lira is getting physical here.
Could be baiting the arm bar, I was going to
here.
say. Yeah, putting the hands on
Too
the face
soon, the
to bait
elbows
the arms
out.
coming up.
Well, Kurbanov doesn't have any time from top to get anything going, and that round absolutely in the bag for Lucas Lira after the guard pass, the time spent in control, first the side control, then the mount. I'm sure we'll get a look at the replay of that in just a second.
It was really smart. You know, there was only 10 seconds left. You know, I'm in a mount, already passed.
Go for an
mounted,
attack,
go
right?
for the submission.
Why
You know,
not?
Very smart.
Mix it up. That's what we want to see here at Adxc. We want to see wrestling. We want to see guard passes. We want to see submission attacks. And Lucas Lira, after a relatively quiet first round, I feel really made a much stronger statement in that second round.
You could see Galbao in the corner a second ago as well, coaching Lucas on bringing the arms over the head from the mount and really looking at the shoulder and the arm locks, I think, rather than trying to bait that arm bar from the posture up. With someone so strong and explosive, that's going to be a tough attack to finish.
Waiting for the cage door to get closed before we resume the action. Referee Mark Goddard starts him for our third and final round in this, our last prelim match of the evening. Round 3. Now Lucas Lira is the one who pulls guard first this time.
That's different.
That's what I love about this rule set. We see Kurbanov come out to pull, then we see a little bit of action on the feet, and now we have a double pull, or Lira pulled first.
All right, I can't help but say,
Kurbanov
I'm going to say it
follow.
right now, I'm disappointed by the fact that Kurbanov didn't take
Top
the
position.
opportunity to try and pass the guard, and instead went back to a position that so far has not worked for him.
Yes, and then it shows that he has a game plan. He's going to be insisting the same game plan once again in the third round.
I will say, though, with
Oh,
Lira...
this is good. This is good from Kurbanov. Got a decent
heel
leg
hook.
entanglement here, double outside Ashi, but in the no-gi, when they start getting slippery like this, kind of hard to hold on to those legs.
And Lucas again in the same position, good control, pressure, and probably he's going to end up passing very soon.
See him spider walking that right arm just to get the elbow above 90, right? And open up that shoulder.
I love this very high pressure with the underhook crossface from Lira. He's really driving forward with his chest into the head and the face of Kurbanov.
Yeah, compressing a lot of the hands, the right hand now to the mount.
Wow.
Very good control. Now we have 1.5 minutes to go here. But
putting
Marat
on a
is
ton
very
of
strong.
pressure here from top. And I like this, Lira, is that he's got a very clear idea of what he's looking for. The path, really well trod. You know, this is classic jiu-jitsu, knee cut, crossface, half guard, passing the mount is so bread and butter. But of course, it's working so well. The real question is, with just over a minute remaining, do you think he's going to be able to maybe get the elbows away from the body and go for the attack?
Yeah, I mean, Marat is focusing on keeping the elbow very nice and low, so don't let Lucas to go on a high mount, protected from the katagatamis. Even though he has one, but the other one is protecting. The elbows is under the hips. He's being very defensive. And
see the way that Lira brought his hips up for a second, possibly looking to spin off for that armbar again, but look at the pressure now, the way he's pushing, the hands to the face.
Marat is doing being very smart on defending any attacks on the arms or on the or in the katagatami, you know. So that's what happens. If you don't have a very tight game here, you end up getting the guard.
Yeah, Lucas has had a very dominant match so far, that is for sure.
20 seconds left.
One last attempt at passing the guard here. Kurbanov really has had a very difficult time here with the very physical, the very dynamic Lucas Lira, who puts on a little bit of a show for us now in the last seconds of the match. And I think just making it really clear to everybody in attendance here at Adxc 6 that he deserves that decision. Well, that is the end of our final light heavyweight bout. And look who's come to watch us. We've got the UFC middleweight fighter Caio Borralho, joined also by a number of other dignitaries here ringside.
We've got a lot of rock stars in the house, that's for sure.
Well, you'll see, we've got former UFC champion. We've got right here, we've got current UFC bantamweight champion Merab Dvalishvili, who is in Abu Dhabi for the UFC tomorrow. We've also got former UFC featherweight champion Alexander Volkanovski is here also. Got some real, like you say, Kendall, real rock stars in attendance right now. But there is Volkanovski. No stranger to Abu Dhabi, having fought here in the past. And now it's time to pass over to Ricky Wright for the official result.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of action, we go to the judges' scorecards. All three have the bout 30-27. For your winner by unanimous decision, Lucas Lira!
Yeah, I think no surprise to anybody watching here.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to
from
invite
that
into
side.
the cage His Excellency Saleh Al-Jaziri and His Excellency Mohammed Al-Hamadi to present the winner's trophy.
Lucas Lira gets the unanimous decision win, 30-27 across the board. Very comprehensive, very dominant win from Lira. And he'll get presented our winner's trophy in just a second. But I think it's absolutely no question, no doubt whatsoever. Decision here. The work done, the guard passing, the top pressure, even a couple of submission attacks mixed in for good measure.
Yeah, it was really great to see Lucas so dominant from top because, again, we oftentimes see him playing the bottom game, attacking the legs himself, so he clearly has such a diverse game, and there's a lot to look forward to when we think about the matches that we could expect to see him in the future.
Well, take a look at this replay, Kendall. I mean, we see here, there were a handful of moments when Kurbanov got on the attack, but Lucas Lira he looked too positionally strong, right?
I would agree. Coupled with the explosions of explosiveness, you don't really ever know when you're in danger with Lucas Lira. It makes it hard to commit.
He did a good job of mixing it up, that's for sure. There were moments when he slowed things down and put on the pressure. There were moments when he kind of got on the gas pedal and he, as you said, exploded into positions. But yeah, no question whatsoever that he earns that unanimous decision and gets his first Adxc victory. Well, that is our last of the prelim matches. We will move on to the main card next. We have more action coming up soon. We'll be right back with some more matches.